I think this problem, this travel and tourism thing in your mind is sorted to some extent. Okay, let's go to next slide. This is purpose of travel. So another guy in some a month ago, someone asked me on Instagram that people have been traveling for ages, for I don't know, for so long time, and that man was I will say he was a retired person, so he got some very good traveling experiences. From his experience, he was saying that people have been traveling for so long uh, across globe in India also. But what the hell is this fascination with adventure tourism? He might have seen some adventure tourism videos on internet or might have heard from someone, but he was asking me that, hey Rajiv, you know about all these things. Tell me what is this fascination about bungee jumping or skydiving or the parachute things, all those things. What is this fascination? Why people today are so fascinated about it? People in his time were not so fascinated with these things. They mm, they mainly went where they went. They went to pilgrimage for religious purposes, or their friends and families, or some festivals they went to attend, or some cricket event, sports, or just for college or school and all those things. But they never okay, let's go for mountaineering or hiking or for scuba. They are going. People nowadays going to what is that, Lakshadweep and Andaman for scuba. By the way, Andaman has a very good scuba sites. So if you don't know, you should do some research about it. So people are going there, but as per him, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, people were not so interested about all those things. Even all these things were not so promoted back then, but still people knew about those things, but they were not interested. So why the hell today our generation is so much interested in all these things? It was his question. And you see, I am trying to, from here onwards, I will try to answer his question. And here is what is purpose of travel. So, as it is written that people within tourism structures have different needs and everyone is not traveling. As I mentioned in the last slide, that you are traveling for leisure purpose, for enjoying the time, and the people who are assisting you are there to assist you. They are not traveling in that sense. They are not enjoying, they may not be enjoying, whatever, but they are not ideally traveling. It is their work. They may travel when they get a leave from their work and they travel to some other place. For them, that will be the traveling. For them, when you are going to some place, they are assisting, it is their job. So that is the first thing. And you see, this is the same thing that people who are traveling can have different purposes to opt for traveling. The intention thing is there. Okay, now the traveling purposes can be anything among leisure. Leisure, what most people generally understand. See, whenever people say that we are traveling, or whenever they think that they will travel, mostly the thing their mind comes, the thing that comes across their mind is leisure. They might not know the proper word for this, but whatever they are uh, actively involving in, participating in, is this leisure tourism. It is a form of tourism. The second form is social, then comes economic, then health, then education and research, and etc. There are many other forms. You see, I have written it that there are many other forms like dark tourism, and there are other very, very sensitive topics. involved in tourism, which I don't like to talk about. It's not only me, most of the professionals who are involved in this tourism thing, they don't want to talk about these things. And if someone wants to talk about it, there should be some other private platforms for this thing, but not like in such YouTube videos which are going to be in the public. So that's why I avoid this thing. But if sometime you ask about me, sorry, if you ask me about this thing, if mm, maybe I may make a video on this, but not today. So I have described this thing. By the way, I have designed all this. So it took me the time, all that time. You see here that this is purposes of traveling. So why people travel? This is a mind map I created, and you see here is the leisure, and I will describe all those things. You see here, I will describe everything. So here it is that what it is and what are the different types involved within these things. So I will go to next slide and show you that what is this. You see, this is purpose of travel, leisure travel. You see, when people say travel, they mean leisure. We have to, being a travel professional or just for the sake of knowing, you should know that when most people say travel, they mean leisure. So it is the stereotypical travel journey which involves accommodation units, sightseeing, enjoying cuisines, and fun activities. So ideally, when people say travel, or most travel packages have these things, these four factors. They will have a very good accommodation unit, maybe a hotel, a resort, a camp, whatever, a houseboat. There are many multiple options for this thing. There are hostels, there are campsites, there is motels. There are lots, there are tons of options there. So I will not go deep into accommodation unit, but maybe I can make a future video on the different types of accommodation units. Factors. These things are there: the accommodation, the sightseeing. Most people, most people aspire for sightseeing, so they are in this leisure. And what they will go for sightseeing is, you see, this, there's only three things which you can go for sightseeing. There's nothing else which you can go for sightseeing and say that mm, this doesn't come under these three categories. Everything which is there or which can be there for sightseeing is in these three things. It can be natural sites, it can be hills, valleys, waterfalls, desert, forest, beaches, islands, all those natural things covered. Historical and cultural monuments, all kinds of forts, palace, museum, theater, arena. Like we have the Eden Garden Cricket Stadium, that is an arena. Many people come to see it. And we have Salt Lake Stadium, which is, I think, second biggest football stadium in the world. So that is also a very um, good attraction point for sports lovers. And there is this thing, religious and pilgrimage site. So usually when people go for sightseeing, they are going for these places. And these places are this sightseeing to natural, historical and cultural and religious sites. So this sightseeing segment is covered. Now we will move to adventurous and sports. Now you will see, you will tell me that you just said sports in this arena. You see, when we say sightseeing, we are not taking part in any activity. We are just seeing. We are just seeing things. You see, when you are seeing a mountain, we are only seeing, not participating in any activity. Okay? While visiting forts and palaces and museums, what we are doing, we are only seeing those things. seeing and experiencing. We are not actively participating in any form of physical activity other than walking and seeing. Done. In this adventurous and sports category, we are actively taking part. We are actively participating in those activities. Like, as I said, when we see hills and mountains, that is sightseeing. But when we climb it, when we trek through the hills to the what do you say, to the summit, when we do mountaineering and go to the summit, it becomes adventurous sport. So again, this is the difference of intention. In one activity, this in one sightseeing thing, I can be seeing Mount Everest. That is sightseeing. From the base camp, I am seeing Mount Everest. But if I go for mountaineering and I climb it, I go to the summit, that becomes adventurous sports. So it is also under leisure because for doing all those things, this is leisure. Basically, this is leisure. So this adventure and sports also has two categories, or not categories, but you can say that this is the basic definition. Adventurous sports are those sports, those activities, physical activities, which will trigger your adrenaline rush. I think you know about adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush will be there, and you will feel very excited and all those things. But there are certain sports which will not give you the kick, the adrenaline kick will not be there, but it is soothing, it is very good for experiencing, and it is mainly opted by people who are not physically fit for those adventurous things. By the way, I have hiked, I'm not saying trekked. Trekking and hiking are two different things. In trekking, you have a particular trail that, I mean, there is I can't say road, but there are the steps, trails figured out. But the route is figured out. You just have to walk. And in hiking, there is no such thing as trails made for you in advance. You just have to go there and explore and search around and find the route. So hiking is more dangerous. And in the Sahyadri ranges, hiking is practiced. All those sports which are there, the dangerous sports of Sahyadri, they involve some level of hiking. Otherwise, the most of the Indian hills across the Indian subcontinent, I would say, not only in India, but also in Bangladesh, in Bhutan, in Nepal, most of the hills are have now come under this trekking thing, because most of the routes have been discovered, they are properly marked, their infrastructure is there to support whenever someone visits. So, okay. So there is the difference between hiking and trekking. So I have been to some hiking sites. I enjoyed it. I have been to some trekking sites. I enjoyed it. I aspire to do the skydiving thing. I don't know when will the time come. I will go for it. But yeah, I am the adventurous guy, so I opt for these things. This is my favorite part, you can say, out of all this leisure thing. But yeah, I was saying that the adventurous activities are of four types, as you can see in this segment. Mm, they are land-based activities, air-based, water-based, and sea-based. Okay. So, in short, it is laws, 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 means land-based, air-based, water-based, and sea-based adventurous activities. Now, in some of the books, if you go by books, if you try to find some references, in most of the websites, they will say only three: land, air, and water. They will not mention sea. Why it is so? Mm, You see, in water and sea, both is water. And I have not made this segmentation based on fresh water or saline water. No, the difference is, you see, there are two dominating factors here. The water based, when we say water based sports, we mainly mean whatever is happening on the surface of a river body, water body. Maybe it can be a river, a steep river directly coming down from the hills, or it can be a huge lake. Mainly big lakes and rivers are used for these purposes. You see, the surface of water, the water surface, the top level is being used for these purposes. No one is diving into the river or lake for doing activities like this. And why they are not diving, or why they the diving or the ocean activities cannot be done in inland water? It is because the depth is not there. So the ocean is too deep, too much deep in comparison to inland water bodies, and because of that, there is some level of clarity in water. The water is clear. I will not say in most places, but at many places, the water is very much clear, which gives the opportunity for scuba diving, and there is something like that. There is snorkeling, an activity which is snorkeling. So these things, because ultimately what you are trying to do is you want to see whatever is happening underwater, and if there is no clarity, you can't see. The purpose is gone. So two factors, dominating factors, which creates the basic difference between water-based activities and sea-based activities is, first, the level of clarity under the water surface, which is too much uh, in comparison to this water-based. There is no water clarity under river beds, because the river beds are generally muddy, and very strong winds are there. You see, at beaches, when you go, it is always windy. There very few times um, wind is not there. Strong winds are there, which are not there in case of rivers and lakes. So strong winds give the opportunity for doing wind surfing, for doing parasailing. These sports are very much conducted in Goa and in the western coast of India. Nowadays, some sites on the eastern coast are also being used for these purposes, but still, these things are very new for the eastern coast. But it has been practiced in the western coast for a long time. So you can see here that adventurous activities which are land-based involve trekking, safari, desert safari, jungle safari, both kind of safari are there. The bungee jumping thing is there, mountaineering, rock climbing, skiing, all those things. These are land-based. Then there is air-based, which is skydiving, paragliding, hot air ballooning, etc. Other things are also there. Water-based, as I said, there is this kayaking, which is surface-based. Okay, I should also mention here, I didn't write it here, but just for the sake of telling you that this water-based activities is also divided into two categories, subcategories. Uh, First is white water activities, white water surface. That means you see white water rafting is there, which is conducted in Rishikesh. White water basically means those mm, rivers which are coming at a very high speed directly from on the steep, see, what is it called? directly running down from the hills, from the mountains. So it has too much of speed. The water is flowing at a very high speed, and it has boulders inside the water level. Inside the river bed, there are boulders there. So when the water touches the boulders, these things create a white water, like a foamy kind of effect. That I'm forgetting the word. That the water becomes like I don't know if it is called foam, because we generally say the white water. So just search about this, you will get to know what I am trying to tell here. That there will be some kind of foamy effect, white water thing, and there is this flat water which is silent water going huge lakes with not so much surface level activity, huge serene peaceful lakes. There are some rivers also. Usually, when the rivers come to the plains, they become silent rivers. So those are called flat water. So this water-based activity also has two things, as I said, white water and flat water. So kayaking is conducted in flat water, because for kayaking you need stable, silent, water surface. But sometimes it is also conducted in not white water, but small rivers which have small boulders around it. But no one will dare to conduct kayaking in Rishikesh, where they are doing the white water rafting thing. As far I know, they can't, because the kayak will not remain stable; it will just flip. So, and in white water rafting, the raft, the what you say, yeah, the vessel, the raft they're using, it has a very broad, flat surface, which makes it stable in most cases. In some cases, it also flips, but that is the technical part of it. I will not go into that, but in most cases, it will remain stable, and um, it will go very well. But the kayak will not be stable in white water. So the kayak is conducted in flat water, and there this speed boating is also there. Speed boating is also generally done in either in ocean water or in flat water. Majorly, it is done in flat water, because speed boats have been replaced with those jet ski. I think it is called jet ski and jet scooter. Those things have replaced speedboating in the ocean a long time ago. So water based is there. I know the video is going to be too long, and it will be taking too much time and too much data to get uploaded. But I have to finish this, so I am trying as soon as possible. I can cover this thing. So I don't know how long the recording has been till now. Okay, so let's move on. So this is the sea based. Now this has scuba. Scuba requires deep diving using the scuba, which is a tool, which has a mask in it, and a cylinder. The oxygen cylinder is there, and all kinds of lots of apparatus is there in scuba, and is lot of training for this, and it requires very high level of physical build-up. Everyone is not good for doing scuba. So scuba is there, scuba diving is there. There is this surfing thing, which I think you may have seen in movies. Young guys are doing surfing. They are riding the huge waves on the beaches, and there is this thing called windsurfing. Now, usually we don't see windsurfing on beaches. Um, not in Indian subcontinent for sure. It is not popular in Indian subcontinent. But if you uh, follow the Olympic Games, windsurfing is part of the Olympic sports. In surfing, they are not uh, using the wind power for riding the wave. They are directly riding the wave. As the wave is coming, they are riding. But in this windsurfing, they are also using the strong winds, which makes it difficult to balance on, because if you are heading in the opposite direction of the winds, you will surely fall into the deep water. But that is not the case with surfing. And then this is parasailing is there. We have this parasailing. So what we do in parasailing, there will be a speed boat and you will be tied with a huge, very strong rope with a parachute. Okay, there will be a parachute and the parachute will be tied to the speed boat and you will be tied to the parachute, and the speedboat will move at a tremendous speed, which will result the parachute will go up in the sky because of the direction of wind, strong wind, and you will also go up with this. And all this thing is this after sea based. This is scuba diving, surfing, windsurfing, parasailing, all these things. There are these non-adventurous activities. As I said, in adventurous and sports, we discussed is adventurous. Till this moment, everything we discussed was adventurous in nature. But there are things which are non-adventurous in nature also, and they are considered under this sports. So under this sports may also consider like this non-adventurous things also consider golf, which is very big, like golf tourism is very big thing in the field of tourism, because first of all it is very expensive sport, and people around the globe travel just to attend golf events, and it creates huge like revenue, this golf thing. So some other examples of non-adventurous include fishing. I know you guys may be thinking that what the hell, fishing cannot be a sport. But yeah, fishing is a sport. If it is conducted in the manner of a sport, it is definitely a sport, because competitions are there. People participate in fishing competitions. Okay, then this is nature walks. Nature walks is, we all know what is it. Nature walks. If you don't know, go to Google, search about this. Uh, then this is pedal boating. Pedal boating is what we have seen in most of the Indian, what we say, lakes. There is the pedal boat. Two people will sit and do the pedaling just like they do in cycle. They will pedal, 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 and the boat will move. That is a non-adventurous activity. And there is this kite flying, the most common thing which you can see in any of the Indian villages, is also a non-adventurous sport, the kite flying. During this 15th of January, 14th or 15th of January, the Uttarayan festival will be there in Gujarat and in almost all parts of India. It will be there. The kite flying thing is a big thing in some parts of India, like Gujarat, like Rajasthan and Telangana. It is a big thing. In China, we know that the Chinese kite festivals are huge, huge things. After all, they invented kites, so they have the right to make it massive. But yeah, in India, it is also a massive thing. And if you don't know about it, you should check YouTube videos about this thing. And if you guys notice that this particular presentation has lots and lots of things which you might not be knowing in detail, and you should know, or you may be eager to know about these things. And I am just giving you like check this thing, check that thing. and you might not be, and you will be, hey bro, I will forget all this. So that's that's because I think that if you want this presentation, like if you want to purchase this presentation and keep it with yourself for the sake of your own research or your own education, yes, self education is the best education. So if you want for all those purposes, you can contact me on my email ID. The email ID is you don't need to contact me via email ID. You can just drop a query on my blog. I will contact you. That you can purchase it from there from me. Okay, this this presentation will be available for sale. So let's get back to this presentation.